Hello, this is Mr. Friel. Today's essential question is, what is point-slope form? You have a few choices here. Choice number one, it's another boring formula to memorize. That's not true. It's the cure to the common cold. Oh, that disappeared. That's not true either. Let's see. Another way to express a linear relationship that is especially helpful when you know the slope and a point. Hint, this is the correct answer. All right, so point-slope form. It's another way to express a linear relationship. This next part, I want you guys to look at the three ways that we've written linear equations. We have slope intercept form, which I think we know the best. We've talked a little bit about standard form. And finally, point-slope form, which is the new one. If you can get the other two organized, I think you'll figure out the last ones where they fit. You're going to drag each equation to its appropriate oval. If it spins, you are right. If it bounces back, you are not right. Now, if you're doing this at home or you're just watching the video, you're going to have to try these on your own. So at this point, I would pause the video and wait for a second. And after pausing, you see if they match. So I'm going to show you an example. Okay, this one looks pretty familiar to me. I know this is slope intercept form. So I'm going to put that one right up here and...
Nice job.
thank you. What other ones? Oh, this kind of, I remember this one here. AX plus BY equals C. That is standard form. So that one goes up here. I hope you got that one right. And I know this one, y equals mx plus b. That is slope intercept form.
Ding, 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 ding.
Let's see, this one also looks a lot like that. That matches up, so that must be right.
Holler.
Oh, I got that from Miss Oberly. Let's see, what else do we have here? This, I haven't seen something like this before. This one looks like a direct variation. There's no plus b, but...
Nice job.
Oh, thank you again. And this one has a fraction and a decimal, but it sure does look like it's in standard form.
Impressive.
So these last three, what is different about them? Well, let's see here. All of them start with y. All of them have the y's on the left and the x's on the right. All of them have parentheses on the right. I'm guessing these ones are what point-slope form is. Let's put the one that just has the variables first. And let's line those up. And there we go. Okay, hopefully you got those ones right. Let's move on. Okay, what should you be able to do? Spartans, you should be able to distinguish between slope-intercept form, standard form, and point-slope forms. You're going to write equations in point-slope form when given the slope and a point. You're going to use the distributive property and the symbolic method to isolate the y and change the equation to slope-intercept form. So you want to be able to do these things. So at the end of the lesson, come back and look at your SWABAT, what Spartans will be able to do. And if you can do them, you know what you're doing. If you don't, you got to ask for some help or review the lesson. Let's scroll up here a little bit. Oh, come on, let me. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the question. What are the three forms for linear equations? Do you know? They were on the last page. Number one, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Number two, standard form, ax plus by equals c. And finally, point-slope form, y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So that's the new one. We're trying to figure out that one. Hey, how'd that get on there? Angelica, did you do that? Next, we have some more questions. Why do we have these three forms? Well, as you see, Miss Oberly, some of you have her as a teacher. You might have seen her. She invented them for fun. Maybe that's true. Miss Johnson thought that only two formulas would be too easy. And then finally, Mr. Friel, some of you have Mr. Friel, he said, we have a formula for when we know the slope and the y-intercept, that's slope-intercept form. We have a formula for when we know the total, the letter C. And we know the coefficients for x and y, and that's standard form. Finally, we have this third form. It would help to have a formula when we have the slope and one point, and that's point-slope form. This guy's happy. All right, so how do I write in point-slope form? The first thing you need to do is check. If you're given the slope, point-slope form might be good, and you also have a point. Therefore, you have point-slope form. So the first thing you're going to do is replace the m with the slope. Then you're going to replace x1 with the x-coordinate and y1 with the y-coordinate. So on the left there's an example problem. If m is 7, so we know that wherever the m is, we're going to replace it with 7. And the line crosses through a point 2, 4. So write in point-slope form. Let's see here. Okay, well here is point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So we're going to replace the m with the slope, which is 7. We're going to replace the x1 with the x-coordinate, which comes first. The y1 with the y-coordinate, which comes second. That's kind of one of the confusing parts. X comes first, y is second, just like the alphabet. So let's see what we did here. Well, replace m with 7, slope was 7. And next you're going to replace the x1 with 2 and the y1 with the 4, and you've done it. That is point-slope form. I think that's pretty good. Let's move on to the next page. How do I change point-slope to slope-intercept form? Well, that's kind of tricky. So let's see here. The right side of the equation where you saw the parentheses, that's in factored form. Your first step is to use the distributive property to expand it. After you've done that, you're going to look to the left side and try to simply isolate the y variable. Now if you're adding to the y, then you'll subtract by that number. If you're subtracting from the y, you're going to add the opposite. So let's see here. Here's an example. Oh, I don't want to give it away yet. Y minus 4. We're going to start on the right side. We have to do the distributive property. So we take the 7 on the outside and multiply by the x, and take the 7 and multiply it by the 2, and that should be our first step. Let's see here. Oh, the expression is now expanded. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 2 is 14. Now our next step up here, it says look to the left side. Well, here we have a minus 4, so to get y alone, we're going to add 4. But as you've learned, if you add 4 to this side, you must add 4 to the right side. So let's see here. We get plus 4 and plus 4. So when you add 4, these will cancel. And when you add 4 to a negative 14, you should get a positive 10. And there we go. All right, pretty well done, I think. Okay, how do I get good at this? Number one, what? You need to practice writing in point-slope form. You need to practice changing to slope-intercept form. Where? Well, in class, you're going to get to do this. You get some help from your peers or your teacher. When should you do it? Right now. Your teacher will give you an assignment either from your book or a worksheet. And at home, I have a link here for you. You want to check. You can either just go to Google and type in point-slope form, or check out Khan Academy. If you type in point-slope form, there's some good information. I put a link here, bring you to Khan Academy. And in here, we have point, slope, and standard form, some videos. I think if you scroll down here, some practice on those that should help you out. Well, I hope you have enjoyed Mr. Friel's first, can he get back to the screencast? Oh, first screencast. There are a few things more advanced. So if you get done with all this, you might want to check with your teacher about these questions. What do I do if I only have 2 points? Well, then you're going to have to find the slope. And then once you have the slope, you can choose one of those points. Also, what do I do if I have the slope and the y-intercept? Talk to your teacher about that too. Best of luck. Have a wonderful day.